These are the words of Kane Horman, little Kyron's dad. He writes, in the restraining order, I believe Terry Horman is involved in the disappearance of my son, Kyron. I also recently learned that she attempted to hire someone to murder me.
Since our last statement requesting that she cooperate with investigators, she has not contacted investigators and provided any information to assist in bringing Kyron home.
They believe that Terry Horman has these answers.
A short time ago, the judge unsealed a restraining order against stepmom.
Just when you think it can't get any worse.
The case surrounding missing 7-year-old Kyron Horman takes a shocking turn.
The father says he believes his wife is involved in the disappearance of his 7-year-old son.
We are just coming out of a live press conference out to Natisha Lance, standing by on the scene with the family, Beaverton, Oregon. Natisha, what did you learn?
Well, Nancy, big news coming out of Oregon today. First of all, the judge unsealed a restraining order that was filed by Kane Horman just 11 days ago. Now, in this order, Nancy, we learned now that Kane Horman says, based on probable cause told to him by police, that he believes not only is Terry Horman involved in his child's disappearance, but also that she attempted to hire a hitman to kill him. Now, in this press conference, Desiree Young, the mother of Kyron Horman, also says that she knows that Terry Horman is lying. She's known her for a long time. And in addition to that, all of the family has taken polygraph tests. In those polygraph tests, Terry Horman is the only person who was asked to take 2, and according to Desiree Young, she failed both of them.
So we are just learning, everybody, live in Beaverton, Oregon, and I'm talking about the disappearance of a 7-year-old little boy, Kyron. The mother, the stepmother, fails the polygraph. The biological mother saying she had an instinct from the very beginning moments she got into the car with the stepmother that she was lying. What else do you know, Natisha Lance?
Well, just as you said, Nancy, that she had an instinct from the very beginning. They also asked during this press conference if there was any indication in the past, if there was some trouble at home. They said no. They were completely blindsided by this whole thing. They are still waiting for Terry Horman to cooperate, but she continues to lie. Now, her attorney was at the courthouse today. He was not giving us any comment whatsoever. Terry Horman has been locked away in her home, and also Kane Horman has amended his petition to move back into the home, so that means that Terry Horman would have to move out based on that restraining order that is now in place.
To Matt Zarrell, our producer on the story, the restraining order. We have gotten our hands on the affidavits and the evidence supporting that emergency restraining order. What do we learn?
Yeah, I've got it right here, Nancy. She is ordered to stay at least 500 feet away from not only Kane Horman, but 19-month-old Kiara. She's also not allowed to have firearms. And Kane Horman makes it clear in the restraining order he is concerned about her getting access to firearms because she allegedly tried to have him killed.
Matt Zarrell, I want to talk just a moment about her hiring or trying to hire a hitman to murder her husband. This is Kyron's father just before Kyron disappears. What are the allegations?
Okay, now multiple sources have told CNN affiliates that that Terry Horman approached a landscaper several months ago and wanted to set up a hit on her husband. Now, apparently, police were going around recently interviewing everyone that was connected to Terry Horman. They interviewed this landscaper. This landscaper reveals this information. Now, on June 26th, just a couple days ago, they wire up the landscaper. The landscaper goes to Terry Horman's house with an undercover cop and allegedly tells Terry Horman, I want $10,000 to kill your husband or I'm going to the police. Terry Horman immediately cuts off the conversation. Sources say that Terry Horman would have been arrested had she implicated herself in this taped conversation, Nancy.
I want to go to C.W. Jensen, retired Portland police captain, joining us there in Beaverton on the scene with the family. Sir, thank you for being with us. Mr. Jensen, the restraining order, we've read it, and it clearly lays out that police have told the father, the biological father, that there is reason to connect Horman with Kyron's disappearance. On top of that, she tried, according to the documents, to have her husband murdered. Why hasn't she been arrested?
Miss Grace, one of the things I learned when I was a homicide detective was, you know, there are certain cases that you have to make an arrest very quickly when you think that the community is in danger, that the person may reoffend. In this case, they've all along known that she is the suspect. She always has been. And they knew where she was. The daughter and the father are now gone. She's not going to reoffend. They, I think, have probable cause to arrest her for kidnapping. I think they have probable cause to arrest her for the disappearance. I think that what they're waiting for is to get probable cause to arrest her for homicide.
C.W. Jensen joining us from Beaverton, retired Portland police captain. You could not have said it more succinctly, because if you give somebody enough rope, they'll hang themselves, right? So how do I know they don't have her phones tapped, her cell phone tapped, her home tapped? For all I know, they're listening in on everything she's doing, that they are watching her. Tell me why you say she was a suspect from the get-go.
Well, there are certain things. I mean, I've investigated cases where strangers abducted and killed children. In this case, you know, that is very, very rare to have a stranger abduction. This school is, Miss Grace, in the middle of nowhere, very tight-knit. You know, so that, to me, immediately, the odds of that were very rare. This kid went to this school every single day of the entire year. Did I think that he left the last week of school when he was excited to be there? Absolutely not. So what are we left with? A family member, a friend. The mother was the last one to see him. I used to take my daughter to school. If she was 15 feet from the door, no one was going to take her. I never believed it from the beginning, and I don't believe it now.
I want to go, everybody, let me remind you that Terry Horman, the stepmother, is not a suspect. She has not been named a suspect by police. I want to go to Mark Class, president and founder of Class Kids Foundation. Mark, what's your take?
Well, I think that there's one third possibility that exists, and that would be somebody hiding in plain sight. In other words, a janitor or a secretary, a teacher or a teacher's helper that's always at the school anyway, although I think that's as remote as the stranger scenario just about. My take is pretty simple. She seems to be suffering what you could almost call Peterson syndrome. It's a situation where seemingly normal people, people that don't have any kind of a criminal record, decide to disappear or erase their family members instead of walking away from them.
Everyone, you are seeing shots of 7-year-old Kyron Horman, 3 feet 8, 50 pounds, brown hair, blue eyes, wearing black t-shirt with CSI on it, black cargo pants. Take a look. Back to you, C.W. Jensen. You stated that Terry Horman has antifreeze in her blood. Why?
Man, that's because, I mean, think about it. She's, you know, and Miss Grace, you know, as a prosecutor, if I'm a detective, I don't have to tell anybody that they're a suspect. And so they weren't going to do that from the beginning. And so she's been the suspect, always will be.
Right. I want to wish a happy birthday.